And he proceeds to do this.
No, not the diaper change.
Hello.
And welcome to
The Champagne Room Secrets Podcast. The podcast where two hilarious sex workers give you a peek behind the curtain of the adult industry through personal anecdotes, analysis, and sometimes interviews. I am Candi / Barbie.
And I am Kitty.
And that's that me espresso.
No. That's very like a news anchor signing off.
And that's
that me espresso.
And we're delirious because you've had a crazier day than I have, but I've just
we combined. We merged days.
we're gonna honestly, I think you got here an hour and a half, at least an hour ago.
Yeah, and I was also like an hour later than I wanted to be.
And then just every technical issue in the book, someone's trying to prevent us from shooting this very important podcast.
But they're not going to stop us.
No one can stop us.
We'll never stop unless we choose to stop for 2 months.
We're back! I know you guys are all wondering, like, what happened to CRS? What's going on? Did Kitty and Barbie have a secret affair that blew up our lives and we had to end the podcast?
We got arrested in Vegas.
The truth is, I just didn't feel like editing.
Oh, T. And you know what? That's your right.
That's my right as an American citizen to vote and to not edit if I don't want to.
To actually not make content. No one's actually making you make content.
Yeah. And today we're drinking Culture Pop, which is the best probiotic soda. Changed my mind. Cheers. We're snacking on some client gifts, first of all. Shout out to my client that you don't watch this, hopefully, but you're cool.
Slay.
And I've seen him a few times, and he always makes me this gigantic spread. Cheeses and like caviar and like veuve and like great stuff. So I told him he picked Harbizon, Jasper Hill's Harbizon, which is like literally one of my favorite cheeses.
And one of the highest awarded cheeses in America.
The next time I saw him, he brought a separate one just for me to take home, unwrapped.
That's really thoughtful.
I know, it's so sweet. I have a present for you.
What?
Yeah.
Now?
Yeah. It's just
Okay.
in my pocket.
Oh, those are so fun.
You get to pick which one you like.
I think stars for you.
Stars for me.
And little clouds for me.
So what you do is you're just like,
You
so
just clip
these
it.
are by, what is it? It's called like cat hair or animal hair.
You want to check?
Okay, yeah, it's called Animal Hair. Anna Mulhern. I'll like link it.
Anna, you ate with these. They're like tickling me.
I need to see from far away.
Oh, she actually. Oh, she looks like shit. Oh no. Oh, actually. Oh, that's a wig.
Oh, that's a hard front, ma'am. That is a toss and throw. What is it called?
A shake and go.
A shake and go. That's a shake and go, ma'am.
Shake and go, toss and throw it in the garbage.
So,
do you have a champagne secret of the week?
I have one, but do you have one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we do here.
What's your Kitty? What's your champagne secret?
Room secrets. Champagne.
I don't know anything.
What's the name of the podcast? Champagne Room.
I don't remember.
Champagne Room Secrets podcast. What should I say mine?
Kitty, can you tell me your champagne room secret of the week?
My champagne room secret of the week.
What is it?
I almost K-holed myself.
If you say you almost K-holed yourself, it sounds like you almost killed yourself. Like if you
Oh,
say
no.
it fast, that's kind of.
Oh, that's
I almost
quite
K-holed
bad.
myself.
No, I did not almost kill myself. I was on the rim of a K-hole. I was K-rimming.
Is that a thing?
I don't know.
Oh, I like it.
I was K-rimming. It was very close, but not all the way. And Sydney Devereaux's partner, Sydney, who we interviewed, was at the same event and stopped by to say hi. And they were being really sweet. And they're like, by the way, I've been listening to the podcast. And what came out of my mouth was not what I meant. What I said was, don't do that. Don't do that. No.
I started watching the podcast. You said, don't do that.
Yeah. I'm actually de-influencing people from enjoying this sweet, sweet content that you put together for us. So I'm really embarrassed about that. And if you are watching, you're very nice. Thanks for saying hi. Yeah. My secret is that I am a drug user who is also a de-influencer for my own content.
You're a bad influence on me for those things.
Yeah.
I've never done a drug ever.
Barbie, what's your champagne secret of the week?
Been working a lot, which is great. And I had one of my favorite clients a few weeks ago, and he asked to bring some like mushroom chocolate. He wanted to try it. He's never tried. He's like kind of a stoner, so we'll like smoke a joint together.
Crazy all these people doing drugs around you, and you're so good at not doing drugs.
I just pretend to smoke the joint with him. I don't actually inhale.
And with the mushroom chocolate, you were like,
I was actually, I don't like super fuck with mushrooms, but I had a little bit. I had like half a square, and it was like I could feel it like a tiny little bit. It just felt like a little goofy, and he really liked it. Then after a while, we like smoked a joint, and he bought all these snacks for us. So he bought a gigantic bag of Starburst and a gigantic box of Rice Krispie treats and like some bags of chips and like Cheez-Its and like all this stuff and like different drinks. Like,
he's good to you.
it was so fun. And so we had this bag of Starburst, and on the front there's 4. Okay, also I had my like different colored lights around the room, and it was dark, so it was like red and like blue, and it like looks really fun and sexy. We can like still see each other, but like the colors are like not, you know, great. On the front of the Starburst there was 4 colors, but there was 2 light pink and then like a dark red and a red. So we were like, wait, we need to find these 2 different pink colors. I'm thinking one is like a light pink and one's a medium pink.
Yeah.
And so we like, I start picking through them, like putting them on like the sideboard where like the TV is in the hotel room. I'm like picking through it, and I'm like, I think there's only 3 colors. He's like, no, there's like definitely 4. Look at the front of the bag. And I was like, I'm only finding 3. And he's like, okay. He's like, I'm only finding 3. And I'm like, look. And so we end up pouring the entire bag out.
Did you sort the entire bag?
Almost. And I start making like columns of colors. I'm like, look, there's the dark red, there's the pink. There's no difference between this pink. I think the bag is lying. And he's like, I just feel like there's 4. And I'm like, there's not. Fast forward to a few days later, he sent me home with all the snacks, and I looked at the colors. There was in fact 2.
There's only 2.
No, there was 2 light pink.
Oh, there were 2 pinks.
So I sent him a text. I said, I have a confession to make. You were right.
Oh my god.
So
they're so close.
They're so close. And under the lighting, I just like the amount of time like we spent, we're just like, we were like doing a math equation, but we were like sorting Starburst. And I was like so convinced. I'm like, no, honey. So that was my secret, and it's shameful, but I did text him and said that he was right. And then he never texted me back, so I think he hates me now. He didn't text me back, but he does that sometimes.
Today we're talking about work, right?
Yeah, I think we have like enough.
I had my first massage client in a while.
Yeah,
which was interesting. It was the youngest person I've ever worked with, which is not in like a gross way. Like he's
under
26,
30. Oh,
yeah. Most of my clients
young.
are like mid 30s to mid 40s.
Yeah,
as far as I'm aware. So he's like younger than me. It really was giving first timer, but he was like, I've seen providers before that do the things you do. And I'm like,
I've come before.
And he was like really sweet, totally well behaved. The whole like flow of doing a massage that has
a finale of sorts,
you know, a little extra at the end, is you don't want to do the extra first, obviously.
Yeah.
It's called a happy ending because it's the end. So you try to do like a traditional massage for most of the time. We had an hour booked, so I figured I'll have him lie like face down and do like 30 minutes of face down massage, because he didn't want to do anything kinky with it. So I'm like, let's go boring. Let's go traditional.
Yeah.
Back to our roots.
Very boring.
Just a, spicy afternoon. And I start massaging him, and I noticed he doesn't have a single like ounce of muscle tension in his whole body. There's not a single like knot. Like, because I start with the shoulders. Not only weak, it does not work out. He's like no muscle tone, but also like no obvious pain points whatsoever. His neck didn't have tension. His shoulder didn't have tension. His hips were fine. His body made no cracking noises when I like put extra pressure on places. His legs were fine. And I was like, oh, maybe he does like a work from home situation, or maybe he's a gamer or something. Eventually I get to his hands, also fine. Soft. I was getting mad at some point because it's like, it takes a lot of energy to massage someone.
Yeah.
And I'm doing it on a hotel bed, so I have him like at the foot of the bed, lying across it, so I have at least 3 angles I can get him from, and then I can crawl in the bed if I need. But it's like still very like involved and very physical. I'm getting tired. I'm feeling the parts of my body that are sore, and he's just fine, and he's just lying there like fucking dough, and I'm just like,
I was like,
dough.
It sounds like you were massaging like a worm.
His muscles were like this. Like just soft.
Okay, this might be thinking too much into it, but you know what I instantly think of? the fact that, like, because you said he was young, his parents still pay his bills, and you're actually getting paid by his parents' money.
I think so.
Yeah.
He didn't have a car.
I bet he can't even drive.
I'm thinking, like, he probably has, like, a job, but lives with family. I was genuinely getting mad with, like, how soft and relaxed
You
his
were, like,
body
jealous
was.
of him?
I was really jealous of his...
He should be massaging you, and then you can finish it off by what you want to do.
That's what it felt like to me.
Yeah.
I was really jaded, and I'm
Wow.
only 2 years older than him. And I'm like, I've lived 2 lives.
I think more than 2.
Probably.
Yeah.
With how many names I have.
Right, exactly. It's a life for each name.
Then we get to the flip over part. He's been very excited since before he entered the room, to be honest. Like, I had him shower.
He walked into the room,
He
dick
walked
first.
into the room 4 inches before his body entered the room. 4? Probably more than that. He was, like, drippy, not from the shower before he lied down.
Okay.
Like, he was like, let's go. His body was like, let's go. It was insane. Like, I avoided any stimulation like that because it was so ready. You know, we talk about, like, the importance of sex work and how, like, personal touch and affection and those things are very important. And it really showed. And eventually we're getting close to the time where you do the ending part of the happy ending.
The part that is not a part of the compensation that anyone makes for any
like,
services.
it accidentally happened. And it almost accidentally happened. And then he said, stop, it's about to accidentally happen too fast. And I said, okay, I'll go back to massaging you. But that means I'm rubbing the mess
yeah.
on, like, his feet.
So it's like a mix of, like, lube and pre-cum, basically.
Like massage oil. He was juicy. He was too juicy.
So you rubbed his juicy.
So I had to rub his juicy, like,
goosey all over him.
on his soft muscles all over, and then eventually come back to it, and it was truly the fastest, like, I've ever experienced.
You're just like,
just that is something. I kind of get close and be like, which is so stupid.
and I draw a heart. Do you think you will see him again?
I think he's too broke.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna just say, like, it was a great single time.
Yeah.
You know, not everyone's gonna knock it out of the park. I had 2 great sessions after with very hot people, which I'll talk about later. So this is, like, whatever.
It's like, you know what? The important thing is
I worked.
you worked. Exactly.
I worked.
You're working. You're getting the hours in. You're getting your name out there. You're getting your hours in at the hand job factory.
Yeah.
If they had a hand job factory, I think they would just kill all women. They're like, we're good. We have the factory.
Yeah, we're good. We're fine.
That's all we need.
They put the people with the penises on the conveyor belt and they just go through.
You get a hand job and then you get a meal.
Oh my god, no, they wouldn't.
3 times a day.
No, we'd all be dead.
We'd literally all be dead. We'd be in cages.
We'd be done. Anyway, you have a couple work stories.
I do. I've had, like, an interesting few months. Definitely the busiest 2 months I've had in a while, and, like, that's really exciting. I'm, like, so close to my, like, debt goals, but it's also, like, I know, kind of scary because then I didn't get an email for 1 week, and I'm like, okay, great. Guess I am just so horrible and ugly, and I guess I'll never work again.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
I mean, you feel that way. Like,
That's the
everyone
workflow.
does. Yeah, exactly. So I just spend a lot of money on, like, ads, and then I'm like, when I lose a week or that week, like, wasn't popping with clients, I'm like, great, well, that was like $150, $200, like, down the drain from, like, this specific ad, you know. So I just always, like, think about it like that and just, like, get down on myself, which I shouldn't, but
Yeah, but you are thinking about it like a business because it costs a lot to operate your business.
Right.
And that's why the cost of your service is so high. So yeah, I think it's fair. I think, like, you're always going to be spending money on your work. You're just not always, you're not booked every day. It's not a shift schedule at the hand job factory.
I'd be the foreman at the hand job factory. I don't know if I could be, like, a
You
giver.
Don't want to manage people.
My arms aren't that strong. They are getting stronger,
You're a
though.
stripper.
I know, but then I got surgery and then I never danced again. Just kidding.
Never
I
danced
did.
again.
I did dance after
Don't
my
make me
surgery.
dance.
I, like, didn't make any money after I got my surgery at the club.
Yeah.
I remember one time some guy was like, basically, like, complaining that I didn't do tricks because I was, like, talking to him and I went to go dance on stage and went whatever. And I was like, you didn't, like, tip me. I was, like, being cute about it. He's like, you didn't do any tricks. I'm like, I got spine surgery 3-4 months ago. And he was like, this is why I can't work at clubs anymore. Oh, also, I do have a septum ring. I've always had it. I think, like, 8 years ago or so.
Oh my god, this is my first time recording with my piercing.
Oh my god, we have piercings.
We're edgy.
We're edgy.
We're actually, like, a little different.
But people are like, oh my god, you got your nose pierced.
No, you've had it since I met
I've
you.
had it, but I think when I go out in public now, I like what I'm doing. I feel like I'm on a good track. And then when I'm in public with my friends, I want to just come off as more queer because I don't want to deal with men.
Yeah. Okay. I wanted to hear about you almost saw a repeat client.
Okay, yeah. So this is the client, the guy with the Venetian mask. The first time we met, I think it was like a year ago, and we got, this is probably repeat information. We got lunch for a few hours, all good, paid, whatever. And then the next time I went to his house, we did more than that. But I did stay for longer, and I didn't like really like get donation for like the amount of time. But I was having fun, and he's like quirky and weird, and like the mask thing I thought was really funny. So I was like, if I could, I could have just left, but I was like, whatever.
You gave him extra time without asking for more of a donation.
Yeah, it just is like sometimes I bring it up, sometimes I don't. Depends how bad I want to get out of the situation, how like annoying someone is. I mean, go back and listen to the episode because I was just being wild, and I mentioned that I have always wanted to see Swan Lake, and so he texts me afterwards and is like, I should get his tickets to go, and I'm like, oh my gosh, great. So that was like a month in advance of the show, and so we were talking about it a bit. We made plans. He bought the tickets, and then I kind of just didn't talk to him. I don't really chit chat with like a lot of my clients. And then day of, I was like, great. So like, what do you want to do? Do you want to like hang out after, hang out before? It's kind of late, so I was like, maybe we should hang out before. And he was like, okay, yeah. And I'm like, okay, we can like go to dinner. And he's like, yeah, let's do that. We can go here. I'm like, okay, cool. So I like kind of crunched the numbers for him, and I was like, all right, great. So we would basically be hanging out from like 4 to 10 p.m.
That's long.
Yeah, and it's like 2.5 hours is the ballet, but like,
yeah.
I am gonna charge for that because you're still out in public with me, and you're like an old crusty
You're
crust.
Still working.
Yeah, so I'm like, I'm not just gonna be like seen out with you, like even though I wanted to go, but I'm like, you're the one who offered to buy tickets, like
it's not a recreational date.
And like I severely like underquoted like what I would ask for.
Ooh.
I think I asked for like $1,800 for the whole time.
$1,800 for
6 hours.
6 hours.
And like, I'm not complaining, like whatever, but like, I did think that was like pretty generous. Like with just a sheer amount of hours we're spending together. Should I read the text?
Yeah, I do think you need to read the text.
I gotta read because it's just like pretty crazy. So we're doing logistics. Okay, we found a place to meet, and I'm like, okay, great. I'm like literally like, okay, I can be your place at 4, and then your place, let's hang out till 5:30, and then let's go to dinner at 5:30 to 7, and then we'll get there for the show. Like I literally made an entire itinerary, and he's like, you're wonderfully clever. Yes. And then I'm like, may I ask for $1,800 donation for the entire evening? I'm just like trying to be like nice about it because like this is just like kind of unusual. And then I kind of said what I would ask if it was someone else.
Oh, interesting.
Which I was like, I would generally ask for $2,300 for this amount of time and like what we were doing because these activities are 4 to 10. But since it was my idea for Swan Lake and you were so generous in getting the tickets, I want to be flexible for you. Little like blushing heart emoji. He said, thanks. 1K, I'll get food. ...
It's not going to be $800 worth of food, and also it's not trade. Is that how much
That's how much he donated last time.
But it probably wasn't 6 hours.
No. I think he just thought like that was the only thing he's compensating for.
The time.
The rest is just like
time.
He's taking me on, I guess, just a normal ass date.
That's actually your boyfriend.
Yeah, I guess he's just like my boyfriend for the night. So I write, I'm not sure I understand.
Yeah, play dumb.
I understood.
I love that.
I understood.
Playing dumb is a great way to do customer service.
Yeah.
When someone's not giving you what you want.
And I'm like, if you need a reminder of my donation rates, they're available here under the drop-down menu, blah, 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 blah. Let me know what you decide. And then like a little like emoji. He says, can't do 1.8, will do 1K. What can works for you?
Just going to Swan Lake for 1K.
I mean, kind of, right? Like
for 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
And then take him to the hand job factory.
drop that man off at the hand job factory. And then I was like, okay, well, like the 1K only covers private time. And I was like, I was actually really generous with my time last time because I was having fun and I didn't confirm with you, which is on me. And he goes, understood. Hour and Swan L.
Swan L.
Swan L.
You know her like that.
Swan L. Swan Lake? More like Swan L.
Take the L, Swan.
I think she like kills herself at the end, so.
That's an L. Did you end up agreeing on something?
So I said, okay, I can do both for $1,400, which is like, we're going to hang out, then we're going to see a 2.5 hour ballet. Yeah, we're watching a ballet, but I'm like, I'm engaged the whole time. Like, I'm in public with you. Like, I'm sorry. Like, he's like a lot older. I think he thinks just women just exist in the state that he likes them in. I don't know if that makes any sense. It's like,
No, I know.
it's not effort that
Yeah.
when women show up and then they're like glamorous and like friendly
Yeah.
and like good dates and like holding your hands and all these things. Like, that's just like our baseline. It's like,
Yeah.
no, that requires
That's
like,
work.
that's a lot of effort.
Spending time with this person you wouldn't choose to spend time with is work.
Like, if I was going to see Swan Lake, I would go by myself. I would get high as balls on an edible.
Yeah.
And I would just like be so zoomed in and not pay attention to anyone. Like, this is like, it's going to be fun. I want to see it.
He could have gifted you a ticket.
Okay.
Like as a gift.
He doesn't respond. He says, art is important. I'll give you a ticket, ... and meet there.
So he's basically like, you can have the ticket and we will see the show together, but I'm not going to hire you now.
I guess that's what he meant.
I think that's what he meant. He's like, you can see it for free and not have a booking.
Yeah. And then I said, I'm not sure I understand what you're suggesting. He's a lawyer. So he said, sorry, caught up on a crazy court day. I'm sending you a ticket for a different day, ... or another day. And I just write, okay. And that's it. We never talked again.
He's a lawyer. He can give you more money.
This man
He's
owns homes with an S, bi-coastal, in like very, I won't say where, very, very expensive areas.
I want to find out what his hourly rate is.
Oh.
As a lawyer.
I mean, I know his real name.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's
We
like,
should find out his hourly
I feel like
rate.
that's the new thing.
Yeah.
Is like not only screening, but also figuring out how much money do you actually have and doing a mental sliding scale.
So that was like really disappointing.
That's really frustrating.
Because I had it on the books and it was right before we went to Vegas. And so I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I'll make some money. And then like,
Also, what a fun night that could have been. You pick him up from the hand job factory
yeah.
and then go to dinner and see a show. That's
Right.
a great date.
I'd rather just like do my regular work and then just like go have fun. That's kind of what I'm learning. Like I'm going through like a journey because like when I was a stripper, I'm like always on. I'm always working. Like,
Yeah.
who are these guys? What are their deals? Like, can I like sell to people while I'm out? And I think as we just like we've gradually just started spending less time at like straight spaces, except for like when we were in Vegas. But I'm just kind of like, I don't want to work. Anyways, that guy sucks. And I don't think I'll see him again. I mean, I don't know. Just that whole thing was like so frustrating. And like, I already know you devalue my time.
Well, rest in peace. Okay, so I've had 2 really, really fun sessions. They're like my favorites ever. They're like the hottest yet. They're like little blessings.
Uh-huh.
And the weird thing is they're both with podcast listeners.
Oh my God.
Which I feel like is so inappropriate.
You have 3 bookings now under your belt from listeners of the podcast.
Yeah, I think of like 7
4 people? 3 bookings, 4 people.
3 bookings for people.
Listen, ads are expensive. You get
Ads are
clients.
expensive.
You get clients for the podcast. Fucking awesome.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Again, I don't really want to book people who listen to the podcast, but I'll take a compelling pitch. That's
Yeah,
pretty fucking
that's kind of how I feel too.
Yeah. So the one that I was most excited about that I've been talking about since the second I got the booking request. Because you were there.
Yeah.
Months ago.
What?
One of my secrets on the podcast.
Are you going to reveal this right now?
Crush reveal. I said I had a crush on a man. Many phases of ick and un-ick.
He's going to watch this.
I don't care.
Okay.
Many phases of ick and then un-ick and then
my
icked
God.
again and then un-icked again. Anyway, it's been tumultuous and it's only in my head and also in our group chat.
You're getting the tea today, you guys.
I'm revealing so much.
I know.
Along the way of crush, ick, un-ick, ick, un-ick,
No sleep.
club, bus. The biggest like we are so back moment is when you and I met my crush's wife.
Yes.
And I was
my
like,
God.
oh my God. And this incredible wife hit me up and was like, hey, I want to give a present to my husband. And that present is a session with you.
That's such a creative gift. Like gift experiences. I think that's such a great gift.
Gift experiences.
Gift experience of life.
But essentially what ended up happening is we had a booking where I taught the wife how to dominate him which was just like
So hot.
so hot, so cool, so
good.
fun. I don't want to reveal too much because they both watch/listen,
And we're friends with them.
we're friends now, and like same social circles, and we're going to dinner soon, and you know, we're gonna go see a show soon. Like,
yeah.
Not to dox anyone and not to make anyone uncomfortable, but it was extremely hot and sexy and fun, and I tried to be on my best behavior.
It seemed like you were.
I think I was. Comment down below.
If you guys want the full story, go to our Patreon. We don't have a Patreon. The Patreon is just you send us $1,000, and I will text you by hand the details.
The Patreon is you run into me at Princess and buy me a drink when I'm already drunk, and I'll tell you about it.
Honestly, yeah. I would spill so much. When I talk to people who like listen to the podcast,
I'm like,
in real life, I'm like,
actually,
do you actually want to know all the tea? Do you want to know every detail? They're like, oh, it's like.
They're actually, oh no, actually I just listened to you talk for 30 minutes on my phone. The whole reason of the booking was that she is like stepping into this role of dominance and wants to engage in that way, but doesn't know how. And like bare hand spanking hurt her wrists, which is valid. It actually does hurt to spank someone a lot if you don't have like the muscle buildup.
It's like the pads on the hand, like the fingers and like the palm. It's like
there's a lot of different things.
Stingy.
A lot of people's wrists hurt after
That's
a
crazy.
while.
I've never had. Maybe my wrists are strong. Gotta go.
Gotta go work at the hand job factory. But as soon as we got, I think it was a riding crop into her hand, she became a demon.
That is so
I saw
fun.
like a darkness come out in her that scared me.
That is so fun.
In a really horny way.
I won't say her combination of astrological signs, but I will say if you knew them, they make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
No one's ever seen those kind of numbers before on the horoscope.
And at one point, she said my favorite thing I've ever heard, where she said, "Is it okay if I care about him less and less as I do this?" Like, who's the real dom in the room? Like, you're born with it.
Yeah.
And it was super hot and fun. And I think we all had a lot of good vibes. I tried to be like a little hands off.
Yeah, you're like facilitating.
Appropriate. I was trying to be professional.
You are.
And, you know, I wasn't there to have a shift at the hand job factory.
You weren't there to serve Italian to anybody at that time.
No. Anyway, tell me a story.
I like we're contrasting your good stories with my horrendous. I have had good stories over the past month, but guess what? They're not that interesting. I think it's more interesting to complain. Yeah. And that's where I'm at my funniest.
Look, we're here to goof and gaff.
Okay, so I've been like, as you guys know, if you've been listening, I've been reaching out to more clients like actively and like trying to like keep a relationship. And one of my people I've seen several times last year, but I don't think I've seen him this year yet. I reached out. He wanted to book. Great. Okay, so we meet up on, this is not made up. The day we meet up is April Fool's. I know that because I just went back in my workbook and I checked.
What's the fool?
I'm the fool.
No.
Okay, so he's like not my favorite client. Actually, I was talking, my other worker friend like shares this client, and like I actually was talking to her about it yesterday, and she's like, "Oh, I don't really like him that much." She's like, I don't like go out of my way. It's like I'll work, but like, you know, you have your favorites, and he's like not one of my favorites. And you know, everything's pretty normal. We get pretty into it. I don't know. He's not much of a chatter.
You take the express train to the hand job factory.
Yeah, unfortunately. I like to, get to know me first.
Well, you're funny and interesting.
Thank you. And I like being complimented for that.
But it was like, you get there.
Yeah, and it's only there for an hour. So it's just kind of
you don't waste a lot of time.
Yeah. And so, you know, this and that, scootily do. And okay, so basically pretend like this cushion is the edge of the hotel bed. Okay, so he is like this. I am on my knees in front of him, right down here. Here, it's my head. So I'm doing what you do when you're down there. Figure it out. And it's going fine, whatever. I put down a pillow for my knees too.
Classy.
And he proceeds to do this.
No, not the diaper change.
No. Hands.
Holding him?
He was holding them. He hold and rolled.
Maybe too graphic. Were you still on?
You know, maybe I was like going from manual to automatic as far as changing gears goes.
Yeah.
And
he just was like, let me slip.
Yeah, and I don't know if he was like,
let me slip you the hole real fast.
Yeah, it was like.
Is he older or younger?
Yeah, he's older. And listen, if you know me and Kitty, we always complain that we don't see enough hole when we're at shows, right? Like, we want to see hole. We want to see hole. And guess what? I did not want to see hole in this exact moment because A, it was not discussed earlier. B, proper preparations were not prepared.
No.
And C, just refer to A and B.
So he like snuck you his butthole.
Yeah.
He shoots and laddered down his hole to your face.
Yeah.
And it wasn't clean.
I mean, I didn't like look at it, but like you couldn't help but get a whiff, you know? And you know, it's like, it didn't smell like shit exactly, but it definitely was like swamp ass, you know, like a sweaty ass.
I know we bring it up all the time, but showering before is like standard.
Yeah.
That's disgusting, you guys.
So I did not.
Yeah, of course.
Even if there wasn't a stench, I wouldn't have, because we didn't talk about that. You didn't ask. I don't know what you're consenting to.
That's such a weird thing to do.
It was just so weird. I don't know. He just like gives like such, and he's not even like an unattractive guy. He just like gives like the weirdest fucking vibes. And so we're going, I just don't do it. And we're like getting into it and like getting towards the end. And he's a little older, so you know, the volcano doesn't erupt as fast as it used to.
And the cap is not popping off.
And the clock is running out. And so I'm like, you know, moving to manual transmission to get these last, you know, we got a few more seconds on the clock. Like, let's get this move going. Let's get the play on the field. And, okay, so we're like, okay, like put your so I'm like this.
Yeah.
I'm doing math.
Yeah.
I'm doing math.
You're typing.
And then he just is like,
no, no, again. He's trying to sneak your hand into his ass.
yeah.
No.
And I'm just like,
And he's literally not saying anything about it.
no, he's not saying anything about it.
That would make me feel so crazy.
And I'm just like, so I just asked. I didn't have any nails on me. And like, usually I've never done this to a client. And like, I would want to have gloves and like have more of a thing. But I'm like, you guys, just the scenario. Okay. The time is running out.
Did you have lube?
Oh yeah. I always bring lube with me.
Okay, thank God.
Yeah. So
Oh
I
my
had
God.
lube. Yeah. So I
Dry?
I put some on. And I asked him and I was like, do you want me to put my finger in your ass? And he goes, yeah. And I go, okay.
What finger did you use?
I think it was my middle finger. Oh, it was my middle or my index. I don't remember.
But just one.
Yeah, I think just one.
Weak. Not you, him.
I know, but I'm just like, I don't even know.
It's crazy to do that as a
we've never talked about it before.
That's stinky behavior.
It was like quite literally stinky in more ways than one. No, baby.
No, baby. Anyway, we have more work stories, but we're going to make you wait.
We're going to make you wait for them.
I know some of you are waiting.
Sorry.
I know you're waiting.
Keep waiting.
Deal with it. We have a live show.
We have a live show coming up.
So if you're in the San Francisco Bay Area, you can come see us on Friday, July 19th. At OASIS in San Francisco, our favorite place on earth. We will be doing Champagne Room Secrets live in the Champagne Room. And follow us on all platforms and like and subscribe and comment and tip us on PayPal.
Yeah.
And then maybe you'll get a ticket.
And like, be nice to us.
What I do have to say is it's going to be a pretty small capacity.
Yeah.
And we already have a lot of friends. And I'm not joking.
We do have a lot of friends. That's not even like fake. That's real.
It does seem like we only hang out with each other and then one friend of the podcast. But we actually have a lot. We actually have a lot more friends than just the three of us.
Sorry.
So, and Jolly Boy. And he's comped. So get a ticket because it's going to be a low capacity. Do you have anything to say to close out?
And that's That Me Espresso.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
You collect people's IDs as trophies after.
That's like a serial killer. Honestly, some of these men need to be serial killed. I'm not even lying. I take that back. That's
serial,
a legend.
though. Serial killed only.
Yeah, serial killed only. One dies, they all die.